everybody, this is Robin with Stamp with Dr. Robin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in San Diego, California, where it's hot. It is too hot. It is like 80 degrees hot. It is not supposed to be that in February. We're supposed to be having rain, and we're supposed to be wearing our sweaters, and we're supposed to be eating soup, and I want it to be like that and not 80 degrees. So, although I don't mind that it's not snowing. Anyway, so today we are going to learn how to use masks, and it seems like that's one of those things that gets lost in the catalogs. It feels like they hide them. So I'm going to show you where they are, at least the ones in the new catalog, and there's actually some in the annual catalog too, if you look in the back. But specifically, we're going to use the ones in the new January through June mini catalog. So before we get to that, just a couple announcements. I think we've talked about Celebration enough and the joining special with 2 free stamp sets and the new blends that you can get now that are skin tone blends that I have some I just got, I haven't even played with yet, so that I actually wanted just some more browns to use for everything from skin tones to wood when you're coloring trees and things like that. So I'm excited to play with those. And then the other thing is the weekend, last weekend in February, 25th, 26th, 27th, I'm having a bunch of classes. So the classes on Friday morning and Sunday afternoon are my regular class. And this time, hey Tammy, good to see you. This time we're going to be making a whole pile of birthday cards. So the morning of Friday the 25th, I think that's the right date, and the afternoon of Sunday the 27th, you can come and make 10 birthday cards, and that'll last you for a little while. And you don't have to buy anything else, just pay for the class. Of course, if you want to order something, you can. And then for the first time on the 26th, I am starting a total beginner class. So those of you, my friends, who are stalking me here, please email me or call me and come learn how to make cards, because it's time to learn. So I'm going to put you down here, and we are going to learn about masks. All right. So this is where they hide this information about the masks in this catalog. So again, this is the January through June mini catalog. So here are the masks that are available right now from this catalog. It's called Butterflies and Flowers Layering Masks, and you get 6 of them, and it's only $10. So you'll see what the different ones look like, but it's such a deal, and they're really fun to play with. So this is the card that we're going to make today. And it's going to use our couple of the flower masks, and then if we have time I'll show you how to use some of the other ones. And this has got that pattern party designer paper that you can only get if you place an order or a workshop order for at least $150. So get some friends together and do that. And then you can get this huge pack. It's really thick pack of paper. It's not a regular pack. It's like $40 worth of paper for, I think it's $17. So that's a deal, and I have a ton of it, so we got to start using it. So let me put this aside for a minute and show you what the different masks are. So you get, there's just a piece of white paper so you can see these better. You get, some of these are great for like background masks. You get the flowers, you get some vines, you get this one, which is really, really pretty, we may use later. You get a butterfly, both the kind of outline and then more. This is just a random flower. And these are the 2 we're going to use today. So let's start with this one. These 2 go together, and you'll see how to use them, and then just some extra little flowers. And then you can put these leaves around, and we'll do that afterwards. So these are the 2 main ones we're using today. And we're going to start by making this centerpiece right here. So this is a Stitch So Sweetly paper. I actually, when I made the other one, I want to say that I did it first and cut it out. So we're going to try it this way this time. And basically needing our blending brushes, I found that to be the easiest. You could, you know, use a sponge dauber. And you'll notice here, oh, took my white piece of paper away. You've got this one that has the larger white parts, and you have this that's going to be your secondary one that goes on top. So first, we're just going to kind of put this in the middle. Okay, and some people tape it down. I haven't been doing that. I'm going to make sure my brush is just cleaned off a little bit. I seem kind of crooked here, but oh well. And we're going to get some petal pink. The other thing is you want to have a stack of Post-it notes. Why? Because I don't know why they decided that this other stuff had to be so close, but you're going to ruin it if you get that other stuff on it. So that's what the Post-it notes are for. So remember, when we're doing this, we're going to stamp off a little bit there. This is petal pink. And we're going to try to get, you know, the darker color in the centers. And then, whoops, and don't do what I just did. And move it. So hold it down better, Robin. Because, you know, when you have a flower, you do have the darker part in the middle. Just make sure you actually are getting the whole thing colored in. Well, last time I didn't feel like I needed to tape it down, but this time does seem like it, huh? It's liking to move. And don't worry about the variations of colors, because guess what? Flowers are a little bit variation in colors too. All right, but I am going to hold it and just try to peek a little and make sure it looks like, yep, okay. So that's our base color, which is the petal pink. And then you want a darker color, which I'm going to use some Poppy Parade. And I just, you know, this is kind of my red-orange blending brush, so I'm just going to try to, you know, get the color off. And then we're going to go to the other side here. And what are you matching up? Okay, see those little, see those little lines on that flower and that one with the center? Those are the ones that I found it easier to line up. So there's some little lines on here, and then there's the center on that flower. So we're lining it up, and you can see when you get it in the right spot, you can see how it's over. So you're not seeing a lot. Once you get it in the right spot, you're not seeing a lot of white. And again, we're going to bring back these Post-it notes and cover up. And I just keep reusing them. You can see they're kind of all sorts of various colors. Okay, can you see we're in the right spot? And now we got our Poppy Parade. And we're just going to go over the top. So you can see how you're going to really kind of want some complementary colors. And you may have to, oh, see what I just did? We're going to keep going anyway. But let's get some more of these over here so I don't do it again. And then we'll just make sure we cover that with some greenery or a bow or some rhinestones. You know, you can hide a lot of things with embellishments. And so you can see how, again, I've done it darker in the middle of those roses. I think they're roses. They could be something else. But you do want to make it feel like it's Poppy Parade now. Otherwise, it'll just kind of all smush together. Okay, you want to peek? That looks pretty good. So you can see I didn't quite line up completely. We got some white showing, but I think that looks fine. And that's what you don't want to do. So that's what the little post-it notes are for. So let's try to find a big flower set that we can put over there. So you can see we've got these pointy flowers and these more flowers like that. I'm not sure which would be the most appropriate here. And see how they have these little, you know, I don't know, edges like this, little curves. They fit real well over the curves of that, but how do they go? Basically, however you want them to go. But again, you're going to want to cover up all around where you don't want it to go, right? So we're going to use a couple. I think I'm going to try something that I saw recently that I kind of liked, and I got my green blender pen now, blender brush, which is to just use it heavy versus light. So I'm going to call these ones my light ones, and just put a light layer of, this is Granny Apple Green, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. So just a light layer. Okay. And then let's move this somewhere else. Just do the same one, say down here. So I have the edge on the side of the rose, and again, I'm covering up all my little spots that I don't want to get the green on. And I'm just going to do a little light layer of my Granny Apple Green. And again, it may be a little variegated. That's fine too. Okay? And then I'm going to take, see how there's a little similar one, only just one. And maybe we'll put one of those right there. And if it goes off the edge, that's okay too. We're not trying to be perfect here. Okay, so now we're going to use some of this with these pointy ones, kind of like this double pointy one. And we're going to try right here, and we're going to need some more of our Post-it notes because that's all we want to be seeing. And then this time I'm going to make the Granny Apple Green much darker. I'm trying to cover up my little mistake here, and I don't think I'll be able to do it completely, but you get the idea. This is one of those things as a parent you say, do as I said, not as I do, right? because you think, oh, that's farther away, it's going to be fine. And it wasn't. But see how those are the same colors, but they look so different. So let's put another couple of those leaves over here. Make them again pretty dark, so it almost looks like a different color. See how it almost looks like a different color from that one? And then maybe we'll put just this single one over here. Just keep moving around those Post-it notes. And it sure seems like we need something up there. Maybe we'll see if this triple one will work. There we go. I'm kind of also using the Post-it notes to hold it down a little bit too. And didn't quite hold it down enough. Okay, I think that's probably enough. Then you notice the more I do, the less you notice that, but guess what? I'm probably going to go back and redo that at some point here. All right, so let's get a little greeting going. And we have this really pretty little happy birthday that came from the Flowing Flowers. Just really kind of light and feminine, and I got a little scrap paper. This is the Poppy Parade. Always turn it over and check. Why? Because look right there. It is trying to be part of our paper, and we don't want that. Did the same thing down here, but guess what? It doesn't matter in this case because we're freehand cutting that off. That's convenient, isn't it? That we're not even using that, so it doesn't even matter. I think this is called bubble cutting or something like that. And you can go as close or as far away as you want from the letters. You'll notice that I'm not really trying to get really close here because I have plenty of room to put it on. But I do want to just kind of round those corners a little bit better here. So that they don't look sharp at all. There we go. All right, so let's put it together. So we've got our standard card base that's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Remember, your mountain becomes your valley. Whoa, everything's just falling out today. right, and then we have that pattern play paper that has the pretty black and white stuff, everything on the other side, and this is 4 by 5 1/4. There's a whole bunch of rainbowy looking paper in that package, and like I said, it all has, sorry, it got a little heavy up here, I don't want it to blob out, and it all has the black and white on the other side. Oops. Well, we're going to do a little bit different than we did on the other one because I need something that is going to cover that up. And guess what? That will cover up a nice big portion of it, and you're not going to notice it. Okay, and then we've got, what did I do with my, well, it doesn't look like I have the petal pink that I used before, but that's okay. I have some other pretty ribbon. And we could also do that. And that may help cover it up a little bit too. So because I glued this down already, I'm just going to get a little piece that's going to go across. Remember I said we can fix anything with embellishments? Truly, that's how sometimes in class people say, well, how did you decide that's where you wanted X, Y, and Z? Well, in this case, you see I wanted X, Y, and Z right here where I can cover up my boo-boo, and you're really not going to notice it, right? So I think I'm going to get just a couple little glue dots because I don't want to put any real glue on the back of this ribbon because it's so sheer. I can't even tell if it's, I don't think it has a right side or a wrong side. You may have some of this ribbon. It's been around for a little while. But again, you can't even see that little glue dot. And I'm kind of putting it somewhere that has, you know, some action going on, so you're not going to notice it so much. And then we'll get some dimensionals for the back. So you can see I'm down to these little last ones, but I've actually snipped them all into these little pieces so that I can easily grab them. And actually sometimes for big things like this, it's actually nice to have these bigger pieces to help hold it down. This little improvise, because of my little boo-boo here, is how you end up with, you know, so that all of your cards don't all look exactly alike either. And then I think we'll get some more dimensionals. Again, my little chopped up ones. Now, if you didn't know there were boo-boos here, you probably wouldn't even notice that at all. In fact, I think I'll move this up just a little bit. Okay, cute, huh? And then we'll put on the inside, I got just a little blank piece, but I thought I had, well, I guess I'll just have to show you what I did on my other one. Oh, no, there's my little piece of paper. You know how you end up with all these little extra pieces like this? Just the little scraps at the end. This is what I like to do with them, which is put them on my bottom of my papers that I'm gonna be writing with on the inside. Turn it over, cut off the excess like that. And then this makes just a nice tie-in with the front of your card. I'm not putting anything else on the inside because I want to have room to write. But that's just a little about 1/2 inch. Sometimes they're even smaller. Sometimes I put them going up like that. And then we have the original card and the new redone card because we needed to cover that little smushies a little bit. So I wanted to show you, here's another one that I made using the purples. So I used the Highland Heather and I used the Gorgeous Grape on that one. And you can just see how the complementary colors are nice. And I just wanted to show you also how to see this little background here. That's one of the greatest things about these masks. It's made with this mask. I wanted to show you how I did it. Because these masks can make great backgrounds. So where's all those little, I think I'm gonna just use this to help hold it in place. Of course, we'll have to lift this up. All right. And what I have is just a little bit of garden green here. Again, gonna use my green blender pen, and I just use, blending brush. I wish they would name these things that don't sound like each other so much. Anyway, and what I like to do is start from the bottom, get a nice dark layer here, and then as I'm going, I'm going to get the color off by blending up like that. So starting off the page, I'm going to make it really dark at the bottom, and I'm going to just keep blending up. And I'm actually going to do this for the entire page with it really dark at the bottom, and then it will be much lighter as you blend up here. Now you have to remember as you're going too, not to be pressing so hard like you did down here, because you're not going to want it that dark all the way up. And you may want to just blend it into nothingness as you get up there, or you may want to leave a little everywhere. I think on the one that I showed you, I left just a little bit everywhere, but pretty light. See how I'm just trying to get it all off the brush now, almost like I'm cleaning my brush. Get rid of that. I don't want that corner. All right, you want to see it? So it almost looks here like I use like 3 or 4 different colors. Okay, so that's another way to use these masks. Another thing that's kind of fun in terms of using them is take some of your embossing paste, which I haven't done playing with that yet. Either make it white or mix it with a drop of your re-inking and put it on there, and then you can have an embossed one. The other thing you can do, and there we go, is take your spritzer, and I have just a little bit of water in here. I want to see if I can do this without making a complete mess. And you just want to put a drop or 2 of the re-inker. I think I'll put 2. I can always add some water. So this is the same little garden green. Oh, Oh, I may have made that a little dark. Okay, shake it up good. So that's the garden green still. And then you get a little piece of paper. Put that down. I want to just get another something to cover my space, because sometimes these like to spray quite a bit. So let me just move everything out of the way. All right, so we got our paper. And you can also do this with alcohol in here instead of the water. Be careful lifting it up. And it's almost like a little watercolor painting here. I think I spritzed that end a little too heavily. So then you want to let this dry, and this would also even be better with your watercolor paper or your shimmer white paper. But isn't that pretty? And again, you get kind of the variegated feel. So for these kind of things, you can do this, and you can, I made another one, and I had it, and I cut around it, and you can just put that there, put some ribbon, or, you know, do it like we did the other one. But that just gives you some ideas of stuff to do with your little masks there. And like I said, there's a couple other, 2 different other mask sets that are in the annual catalog too, that are fun to play with. So go ahead and take a look at those. They're completely different. And it seems like at least one of the mini catalogs, they're going to be having a little mask like we have. Well, maybe once in all of them, but they're always hidden. Like there was one last time, I don't know if you noticed it, that had like candy cane stripes. So this is using the blender pens. This one is using the water with the reinker. They're both pretty, but both a little different. So I'm going to just bring back the cards. So that's the one with the purple. That's the one I made before. This is the one we made today. So there you have it. I'm going to put you back up for a second, just to kind of say goodbye. Hey, Laura, you're watching too. Well, I'm almost done, so you missed most of it, but you can rewatch. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks, Tammy. I think they're pretty too, and play with them with different colors. All right, you guys, I will see you next week at 1 o'clock. Take care, bye.